criminal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call this court into session for the matter of the People versus PRISM and Wilson. I'm going to open with the simple statement that this is an extremely serious court case. I appreciate how respectful the gallery has been so far in keeping voices to a minimum. Throughout this court case, the counsel from both sides are going to want to listen to what everyone has to say in order to properly rebut or argue to the other side. Please keep your voices low, keep conversations to a minimum. Outbursts will result in a contempt of court charge right off the bat. No warnings, no nothing. Directly to jail for 300 months with a $15,000 fine. Is that understood? We will be calling this matter into session. First and foremost, my understanding is that there may have been a plea, not agreement necessarily, but a plea entered. I will be addressing the defendants directly. Defendants, you may answer individually or you may answer through counsel. The choice is yours. Beginning first with Mr. Shako PRISM. You stand accused first of misdemeanor possession of a controlled dangerous substance, oxy or methamphetamine × 1. How do you plead to this charge?
Your Honor, Mr. PRISM would like to plead guilty to all charges listed. He takes full responsibility for the actions that are listed in the arrest reports as well as the charges that are levied. Mr. PRISM would like to note to the court that Ms. Wilson had no involvement whatsoever in these crimes. She was with him at the plane simply to leave as they were going through, and has some type of relationship with him. But that is all it was. Ms. Wilson is pleading not guilty to all charges listed on the document.
Yes, the simp defense.
Oh, a classic.
Okay. Mr. PRISM, you understand that by choosing to plead guilty to all charges as best, you are waiving your Sixth Amendment right to a trial in this matter, moving directly into a sentencing phase for yourself.
I do.
Understood. And I take it by your statement, Mr. Whitehawk, Ms. Wilson will be pleading not guilty to murder in the first degree × 7 and criminal possession of a firearm × 1.
Yes, Your Honor.
Understood. Let me get counsel from both sides to approach the bench. This time, the people are dropping all charges outside of criminal possession of a firearm against Ms. Lola Wilson. Ms. Wilson, how do you plead to that charge?
I plead guilty.
Okay. It is the opinion of this court that you have done more than time served in relation to the charge that has been levied against you. Accordingly, there will be no fine assessed. The crime will go on your record, and you are individually free to go at this time. You may step back into the gallery.
I appreciate the court on this.
She's gonna murder us. What the hell? She's going to kill us.
Next phase of this brings us to the sentencing of Shako PRISM. District Attorney Hollow, it is my understanding that the state is seeking the death penalty in this matter. Is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, it is the objective of this court to ensure that in any case in which the death penalty is sought, we must prevent it from occurring in a freakish or wanton way. We can't randomly hand that punishment out to individuals. Accordingly, this will proceed much as a normal sentencing does. However, District Attorney, I need you to focus on presenting to me aggravating factors which make this rise above our average murder trial. Defense, I need you to present mitigating factors, things which you want this court to consider when weighing the different options that are on the table. I'm going to turn the floor over to the prosecution at this time and any witnesses that you wish to call to speak on the aggravating factors of the crimes that we're here for today.
I believe the only officer that wants to make a statement about this issue is going to be Senior Officer Dominic Toretti.
Hello, Your Honor, people of this court. I was one of the officers involved in this sick, quote-unquote, game that the defendant here wanted to play. He taunted Miss Forcer multiple times, phone calls. He took pride in what he did. He enjoyed it. He made videos. It was very clear what he wanted. And he seems to show absolutely no remorse for what he did. I don't feel as though the court should show any mercy to this guy. He's done heinous things and he doesn't care. The victims in this deserve some justice. The multiple victims of this deserve some justice. Please consider that in your decision.
Right. Deputy Forrester, go ahead.
I was not on scene when the two suspects were apprehended, but I entered the house. I'd seen the videos. I'd been sent those videos by Mr. PRISM himself.
I take great pride in that.
When I entered the house, it was horrifying. There were bodies strewn all over the place. Blood everywhere.
Law enforcement sure attracts a bunch of weirdos, huh?
And
She does.
again, he shows absolutely no remorse. This is all a sick game. Life is a game. It's one of the things he said. Sorry, I can't.
Throughout my time as the district attorney's office, I have dealt with a total of 67 cases. Around 17 to 18 of which were held until trial. Around 9 of them were murder trials. There hasn't been a single case in my entire career between being DA all the way down to being a paralegal with my big brother Jerry that I have had to see something as horrific as the evidence I saw in this case. There were 7 bodies. Videos of the defendant butchering these people were sent to the police. The scene was scoured for evidence by Senior Officer Toretti to only find stabbing, shooting, slashing, anything to inflict serious pain upon the 7 individuals that died that night. It's with the amount of evidence that came with this case, as the district attorney's office's belief that no country, state, city, neighborhood, household, or any single person just living in a box should have to worry about a man like the defendant today. He did these actions with no remorse whatsoever. Nobody should have to worry about somebody like him being on the streets again. Like Officer Toretti stated, he called them a game. He said people had to sit there and choose who they killed. Like it was some kind of fun thing to do on right after getting home from work. I don't know about most of the people in here, but that's pretty sickening to have to listen to over and over again as evidence to prepare for this case. With that being said, the district attorney's office is highly requesting death penalty for such a sick and delirious individual. Thank you, I'm done.
True.
As nice as thank you, I'm done is, does that mean that the prosecution rests?
Prosecution rest.
The last time you get to say that, Larry, say it with pride.
Your Honor, as district attorney of the state of San Andreas for my last case of all time, the prosecution rests for the matter of this case.
All right. Defense table, I'm going to turn things over to you. You may make statements directly through witnesses or through counsel as to any mitigating factors you would like considered.
Your Honor, against my advisement, Mr. PRISM would like to make a statement on his own behalf.
Understood. Mr. President, step forward to the podium.
Go be your friend.
The people that were murdered in that house, I take great pride in. Those people were evil, just like the many, many others that have not been noted on this docket, and the many people that came before them as well. They're missing the individual that leapt from a bridge to save his family because he continually cheated on his wife and used the funds for his family to invest in prostitutes. These people that I killed, sir, are evil individuals. And if my consequences to those actions of being rid of evil in this world is my own death, then I accept it. The number is 7 today. But prior to that, the overall number is 57.
Like you son of a bitch.
You are getting justice for those people, those evil people, then by all means do what it is that you will. I do not regret my actions one bit. Those people deserve to die. I'm done, Your Honor.
Counselor Whitehawk, do you have any legal argumentation you would like to present on behalf of your client?
I relieve him of his duties, sir.
No,
Apparently, Your Honor, I do not.
Whitehawk, you have been fired.
Yep.
With that, I presume the defense rests. I'm going to be placing this court into a recess.
Ageism.
Your Honor, before you go, seeing as he just admitted to 57 murders, I'd like for him to be placed in cuffs.
That, yes. Go ahead and place him in cuffs. Alright. This court is prepared to render its verdict in the matter of the people versus Shaco Wilson. As I stated when I opened this matter, in the application of the death penalty, this court must prevent the freakish and wanton application of the use of the death penalty. Accordingly, when we contemplate the implementation of the death penalty as a form of punishment, the court has to consider aggravating and mitigating factors. In consideration of the defendant's rights against, quote, grossly disproportionate punishments, we must specifically enumerate the aggravating factors which are relied upon in order to narrow the class of defendants who are eligible for this particular punishment. It is the finding of this court that those specifically enumerated factors going forward from today shall include, first, that the defendant is being convicted of more than one offense of murder in the first or second degree. Second, that the murder involved the intentional infliction of psychological or physical torture. And third, that the murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity. Especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel, manifesting exceptional depravity shall mean the conscienceless or pitilessness of the crime that is unnecessarily torturous to victims. This court finds that these killings were heinous, and that the actions that were captured on video were shockingly evil and the product of a game produced by the defendant to inflict not only physical but emotional stress, torment, and terrorism upon 7 of our civilians. This court finds that the aggravating circumstances outweigh the mitigating factors. Thus, this court, in agreement with but independent of the District Attorney's Office's recommendation, imposes the penalty of death upon defendant Shaco PRISM. This court orders that execution take place virtually immediately within the hour via firing squad at Bolingbroke Penitentiary. Mr. PRISM, may God have mercy on your soul, and this court is adjourned.
Oh my god.